Denim-wrapped nightmares, what is happening? First of all, shout out and thank you for your support. And secondly, I want to tell the people about Public Domain, their next favorite adult animated sitcom that you're going to love more than any animated show you've ever seen before, because you've already seen these characters before. These characters exist in a world where they've passed up their copyright, and now they're free to use for me in the public domain, and we're going to do it, and we're going to voice them by a bunch of supernatural characters, and it's going to be your favorite show. Now, we need your help to make this show because we can't do it by ourselves, and the executives are sitting on their asses, so go to our Indiegogo campaign. You'll find it down here, over there, or up there. I'm not really sure. It will be somewhere. Check it out. Donate a little bit, donate a lot. We got some great Christmas perks, including a naughty Santa card of me that involves, well, naughty things. So check us out, support us if you can. If you can't support us, thanks. Share us, like us, subscribe us, all the things that make online campaigns successful so you can have the next greatest adult animated TV show.
Welcome to Denim-wrapped Nightmares, Tipsy Exchange podcast, where we explore the Supernatural series, episode by episode.
Over drinks, we'll discuss the lore, the gore, and what we adore about the Winchesters and their adventures.
I'm Berly, and I'm a new fan of the series.
I'm LA, and I'm here along for the ride. Now let's get tipsy.
Hello, LA.
Hello, Berly.
It's our season 7 premiere.
It is.
Couple of housekeeping items. We don't have any new reviews right now. Womp womp. But I do want to shout out Toy Lopez on Facebook. She is recommending our podcast almost every chance she gets, tagging us, telling people that they should come listen. So thank you, Toy, for being an ambassador for our little shit show.
Yes,
we appreciate it. Another house item. We may not be as consistent this season with our 2 episodes per week. If you guys haven't been able to tell, we've struggled a little bit with maintaining that pace since we completely lost our lead time toward the end of last year. So we're going to be issuing new episodes as we got them, and kind of planning to take this season 1 episode at a week until we can kind of build back our bank, and then hopefully we'll be back to 2. So for now, 1 episode a week. And then the last housekeeping item. Last season, that was it for LA. She couldn't take it anymore. Those last couple of episodes, she was furious with how much stuff she missed while she was taking her notes. So we're changing it up this season. I will be doing the recap, and LA will be on lore for every episode for the foreseeable future, or until I get tired of it and make her go back. Since I'm recapping the episode, LA has the honor of reminding us where we were in season 6. So take it over.
What do they say? The road's so far, and then now? Is that what they say at the beginning of each one? Okay. All right. The 6th season began. Nope. Already. 4 words in.
We're a little out of practice.
The 6th season begins about a year after the end happenings of the 5th, with Dean living a normal life with Lisa and her son Ben. Sam mysteriously and miraculously returns to Earth and reunites with Dean, who leaves his new life behind. Sam has been working with their grandfather, Samuel Campbell, their mother's father, as we know, in order to capture the alpha monsters.
We love them Campbells.
They're gone.
Bye.
Bobby eventually gets his soul back from the Crossroads demon Crowley after some flirting.
Right.
And apparently he is now the king of hell. It's eventually
Crowley, not Bobby.
Correct. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that would be weird. It is eventually discovered that Samuel is following Crowley's orders in exchange for the resurrection of his daughter, Sam and Dean's mother. Mm-hmm. Castiel is barely helpful anymore because a civil war in heaven against the Archangel Raphael, who wants to take over heaven, free both Michael and Lucifer from the cage, and start the apocalypse again, has taken its toll. As I just glanced at that sentence, I thought it said something about Nicolas Cage.
Did it?
No, it did not. But
well, that's good.
I just was like...
That would have been incorrect.
In my mind, I was like, what?
Unless I missed a pivotal plot point.
Nope. I don't know.
Nope.
Just something between Michael, Lucifer, and Cage. I got Nicolas Cage. I don't know.
Mind is a glorious thing.
Crowley wants to use the alpha monsters to locate purgatory, a supernatural realm that is filled with souls of every monster that has ever been killed. Vampires, werewolves, Wendigos. It's been a while.
Been a while.
Skinwalkers, even shapeshifters, and in which there are a vast collection of souls that could be used for power. Castiel brought back Sam without his soul. Whoops. And Dean implores the help of the horseman, Death, in order to retrieve it. Death puts a wall up in Sam's mind so that he will not remember his time in hell. Sam's original personality is restored with no memory of the past year and a half. It turns out Castiel made a deal with Crowley for both of them to receive half of the souls in purgatory. Dean doesn't like the idea and tries to stop the duo, jealous, to stop the Winchesters, and Bobby Singer, Castiel, knocks down the mental barrier in Sam's mind. Rude.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Castiel betrays Crowley. Man, Castiel.
He's
just really burning bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Castiel betrays Crowley, who then allies himself with Raphael and performs the ritual to open the doors of purgatory. It fails because they had dog blood, and Castiel appears full of power from having done the ritual himself. He obliterates Raphael, and Crowley escapes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
When the Winchesters try to reason with...
You want to talk about Crowley more?
I guess so. When the Winchesters try to reason with Castiel, he reveals that he is not an angel anymore. He has become the new god.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, today's episode picked up literally right where it left off.
I was surprised. I was like, oh.
Same. I thought it was going to be like 6 weeks later, so like something like that. I will say, I am confused with how long this one episode was supposed to have lasted.
I mean, maybe Dean's just a really good craftsman and got that car together in a
They
couple
were
days.
all three working on it, right? It just seemed like so much happened, and I had no concept of, okay, how many days has it been? How many weeks has it been? How many months has it been? I still don't know.
Yeah,
Not long enough for there to be another eclipse yet.
that's true.
So that's the only thing we know. Well, today's episode is titled Meet the New Boss. It's the season 7 premiere, and it originally aired on September 23rd, 2011. We pick up right where we were with Castiel threatening Sam, Dean, and Bobby, telling them, get on the ground, kneel before me, bow to me, love me, want me, need me.
Dean's face.
He's
just like
what?
so confused.
He's like, what is happening? And Bobby just goes,
He's like, okay,
I'm down.
Getting down.
This is good. You want me to put my forehead on the floor? Are we okay?
I liked when he was like,
Yeah.
is this fine, or do you need the
You
whole
want
forehead
more?
on the ground?
And Sam and Dean are still just kind of like, what? Bobby's like, guys, like, fuck, get down. Like, he could snap and explode you. He could blow you up, not in a fun way.
Clearly lost his mind.
And so Sam and Dean start to be like, oh, okay, shit, and get down on their knees. And the cast is like,
Don't.
this sucks. You don't mean it. You don't actually love me. You're just scared.
Don't bother if you're not going to mean it.
Yeah. This is insincere. I don't appreciate it. This is such bullshit. I am mad. And Dean is saying, well, you said you were going to fix Sam. And Cass is like, excuse me. I said I would fix Sam if you stood down, which you hardly did. And he put his hand on his hip like I did and did his head like this.
Yeah.
He said, which you hardly did. So I'm not fixing shit. And then he was just like, oh, you guys are little piss ants. Isn't that what he said?
That, and he was like, he said that when he was like, the old Cass is gone.
Yeah.
You guys used to be my favorite pets before you bit me.
Yeah.
And then he calls them piss ants or
Yeah,
something.
you're a little ant. You're a little
Yeah,
piss ant.
yeah.
And then he's like, Sam, I loved you, but then you literally stabbed me in the back. Fuck you. Fuck all of you guys. I'm so over this.
Out.
Okay, but at least he doesn't kill them, you know?
True.
So you got that going for you. But then Sam's nose starts to bleed and he falls over and his hand like smashes right onto a giant shard of glass.
Oof.
I clenched everything. I was like, oh no, I didn't like it. No. And so we kind of leave them there where it's like, uh-oh, Cass is crazy. Sam is hurt. Dean and Bobby don't know what's happening. I gotta say, I wouldn't have thought Bobby would have been the first one to drop to his knees.
Right?
That surprised me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess he has the most sense out of all.
Right. He has the most experience to know we don't have the knowledge. We don't have a weapon. There's nothing we can do. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess it makes sense that actually, after all, now that we're talking about it. Oh, I did forget before Castiel left and after he was all like, you guys are piss ants and you stabbed me in the back and you don't really love me and I'm upset, that he did that whole petty, like, oh, how are you feeling, Sam?
Oh, yeah, that's how they knew he didn't fix
How are
them.
you feeling? Yeah.
Again, what a little bitch.
He was being such a little bitch.
This new god needs to get some manners.
Right? I mean, ego.
Yeah.
Wow. Speaking of, he goes to his favorite heaven, the autistic man that drowned in his bathtub, where it's beautiful. The color saturation is just gorgeous. And he's
Peaceful.
you would think, but he's talking
Well,
crazy.
Yeah.
Like saying, oh, if you followed Raphael. Now, here's my question. Who were you talking to? Because it looked like you already killed everyone.
Yeah, he sure did.
So who was that conversation to? Like, literally just all these men in black angels. I don't know why they were all in the same suit. All these men in black angels, singed wings. He ruined that beautiful heaven.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool shot, though.
It was a very cool shot, but where was the man with his kite?
Yeah.
Did you take it over? What happened?
Probably.
And again, who was he talking to?
I guess any other angels that are listening.
Were they like up in the, what is it? In the balcony seating? Were they in the balcony seating looking down, watching? Or just like, oh shit.
I do not know.
That's what we'll say. They were in the balcony seating. He was kind of looking up when he was talking.
True.
So yeah, so Castiel went and just slaughtered a whole bunch of angels because they followed Raphael. And he can't be having that. You know, this is Old Testament,
What do you mean?
like unforgiving
Oh, yeah.
God.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the meantime, Dean is trying to fix the Impala, and I loved this shot.
Yeah.
It was upside down at first. He's laying on his back on the seat with his legs up trying to straighten out the roof of the car because the car got fucked in the season. I think it was the season finale when that cloud smoke of demons came and flipped it
Yeah.
completely over. So he's trying to push out that massive dent, but it looks like he's standing in a weird squat at the beginning, and then the camera rotates around so that you see I liked that.
Yeah.
That was fun. Bobby comes out. They're trying to think, what are we going to do? Like, this is not a good situation. What do we do? And the consensus ends up being, we're going to fix the car.
Yeah. Well, Dean kind of snapped at Bobby when Bobby's like, there are no books for this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix this. And that's when he say, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And you and I both went, oh,
How dare he?
oh my. Calm down.
The attitudes in this episode.
He just handed you a beer.
Right? Came to check on you.
Rude. But bygones be bygones.
They can only do things they can control. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. This we can control.
Yeah.
You know, there's that saying that, what is it? The things you can control end at the tip of your nose.
I have never heard that.
Did I make it up?
No, I just have never heard that.
I don't know where I heard it.
And I don't get it.
Like, if it's outside of your ability of actually physically...
Oh, okay.
Like, I can't control you.
Right.
I can't control the weather. I can't even control my fucking car sometimes, you know? Like, the things you can control end at the tip of your nose.
I see. Okay. Gotcha.
That's like, you can control your reactions and blah, 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 blah.
Yourself.
Mm-hmm. Usually. Unless you're Castiel, apparently.
Yeah.
They did talk a little bit about Sam, and we find out Sam's sleeping. He's
taking a nap.
alive. Yeah, he's just sleeping it off. He's sleeping off that whole hell thing. That whole wall breaking thing. Just sleeping it off. And Dean goes inside. Sam comes walking up, and he's being his little Sammy self. Just being very cautious. His hand is all taped up. And Dean says, "Are you okay?" And Sam's like, "Yeah, I'm fine.
Good. I'm good.
My head, I got a little bit of a headache, but I'm good." And Dean just goes, "Okay."
Yeah. Okay.
What do you say? What's the saying? Don't knock a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're like, that was scary, but like, you're fine. And I'm just going to take that at face value. You're fine. Everything's fine. But then he leaves and Sam kind of hears something.
Yeah, what was it?
It was the beginning of his hallucinations.
No, I know that, but what was the sound?
I don't think we were supposed to know what it was.
Okay. I thought it was like birds or something.
Yeah, it was like a rustling or something.
Okay.
But the camera work, again, I loved the, I want to say Evil Dead kind of camera work in this episode, but I might not be using the most applicable reference here. But the camera work that it did with the noises a lot, I loved all that. All the horror elements in this episode were a lot of fun. I think Phil Segrisha had some fun working out his shot plan or whatever they call it, because he did some cool shit.
I thought maybe I had just missed whatever it was supposed to be for the sounds.
Yeah, I don't think we were supposed to know.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Now, when Castiel is having his shit, it was like,
Yeah, voices.
let me out. I'm evil. Ooh, you can't control me. But I don't think we were really supposed to hear it with Sam.
Okay.
Speaking of Castiel, though, he decides to visit a church where there's a preacher up there being a total homophobic asshole. Mm-hmm. And Cass comes in and says, dude, you're so wrong. I do not care about sexual orientation whatsoever. But how about we have a conversation about what you've been doing with your genitals? And he never told us. But I think we can all assume it wasn't good because he called him a hypocrite.
Right. I was thinking.
Oh, so was he closeted?
Yeah, that's what I gathered.
I assumed it was going to be something actually bad.
Oh, well, I mean, who knows?
Being a hypocrite and condemning other people and all of that is bad. Don't get me wrong, but I thought it was going to be bad. Anywho, he makes the guy choke on his tongue.
Yeah.
And everybody around him is just like, what the fuck?
Well, I like the one guy that stood up, like he started to come toward him, and Castiel just like glances at him, and the guy stops. I guess it's something Castiel did, like stop him. Mm-hmm. And didn't he like push him back or something?
Well, he sat back down, but he sat back down so heavily the pew snapped.
Right. Okay.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, just the way that glance, I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, Misha Collins was giving face in this episode. He did some excellent face. Really good. Loved it. Loved it. But yeah, he tells them all he's God. And then as he's starting to leave, he stumbles a little bit and it's kind of like, oh.
Isn't that when he hears the voice?
Yeah, he starts to hear shit at that time. And then he accidentally burns a little bit of the pew where he put his hand. Yeah. I was like, what?
What was that?
What was this fire and brimstone? That's not good. But then, like, real quick before his way out, he was like, hang on. Let me fix that stained glass mirror. I don't like it. I should be on there. And so the stained glass mirror changes to Castiel on it before he pieces out.
Yep. Trench coat and all.
Yeah. We cut back to Bobby's house where Sam and Dean and Bobby are all three tagging baby. What is it?
Whoa.
Tag teaming baby.
Okay.
They're all taking a turn.
Yikes.
Getting her fixed up as quickly as possible.
Banging around.
Mm-hmm. Sam has gone down to the basement to get a certain tool. And as he turns around to go back up the stairs, he gets a flashback. He feels like he's in the cage. He's seeing meat hooks with chunks of skin hanging on them, and there's red lighting everywhere, and he is real scared, holding that tool out like a weapon, prepared to attack. And then Bobby comes downstairs and sees him and kind of stops and realizes something's not right.
He looks
and then
terrified.
And then just goes, come on, what are you doing? And turns around and goes back upstairs. I was like, really? We're just not going to address this?
Right? Sam looks terrified. He's got the whatever tool he went down up like a weapon, and he's like crouched.
Yeah. And Bobby just comes down and he stops on the stairs. And like the way he stops, clearly Bobby saw what was happening. But it's just like, no. We're going to pretend this isn't happening.
Right. Healthy.
Yeah.
Really healthy relationship.
Sam said he's fine, and I'm just going to believe what I've been told. He just, come on, let's go. Let's get upstairs. We got to get back to work. It's your turn on baby.
Oh my God.
In the meantime, they have seen a news report about what happened with the hypocrite pastor, preacher, whatever he was. And Dean says, it's Cass, we think. And we find out why. Do you want to share your note?
Well, I was about to say that whole scene where he's in the church, it's like unnecessary, I feel like, really, except for like when he hears the voices.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they did it just solely so they could put this line in there for Cass. Not really, but that's what's happening in my mind.
I mean, I will say this about the church scene. It's like I said earlier in season 6 about the whole absolute power corrupting absolutely. The church scene to me was kind of letting us know that he thinks he's doing good.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he's fixing stuff, so it's kind of letting us know where he's at mentally.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the scene a lot.
Right. It was really
but
cool.
I was just like, oh, okay, it's just for this line. For me. But yeah, they're interviewing some of the people that were in the church. She said, no beard, no robe. He was young. And she kind of pauses and she was like, and sexy.
Yeah.
That is not what I thought she was going to say. And she said he was wearing a raincoat.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. And so then they find out Cass is going after several hypocritical, corrupt religious leaders, just going to town.
I mean, good for him.
Throwing some biblical shit down left and right. Then we see Sam and Dean both working on Baby, and they're listening to the radio, and they're talking about him going after motivational speakers next. And they're just like, all right, well, okay. We're just going to keep working on the car. That's what we can do.
Just let him do his thing.
Yeah, that's all we can do. We can't stop. Sam does try to recommend, why don't we talk to him? And Dean's just like, dude, he's gone off the deep end. There is no talking to him.
That's sweet, Sam.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
We just need to, he's pissed. He's righteous. Old Testament, bro. Like, we just need to stay out of the way. We're not messing with it.
Keep working on Baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's the theme for them this episode.
Yeah. We cut to a trailer park in Tennessee. And it zoomed in on the license plate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess we were just supposed to know that Tennessee. I assume we were in Tennessee because it was a Tennessee license plate. But I was trying to figure out what other relevance there was on that license plate because they seemed to hold on to it for a second. Was it just for us to know where we were? Was that it?
I guess. I didn't.
We're doing real great.
I don't remember that.
Strong start to the season.
So sorry.
They cut inside, and first we see slippers. But then as we pan up, I see tailored black suit with a black shirt underneath. No tie. Unbuttoned. Pouring himself a glass of, I assume, scotch. And I realize, oh, it's our Crowley.
Mm-hmm.
It's our Mr. Crowley. I was not expecting to see him in the season premiere.
I wasn't either, but I did see his name come up in the credits.
Oh, see, I always forget to pay attention to that.
I normally don't, but for some reason today I was just staring at him.
I know you were. Whenever I was like saying, oh, I can't wait to see who directed this, you were on top of it. You were like, Phil Segrisha. And I was like, oh, okay. Good to know. Mr. Kitchen Meat Cute.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing with this episode, I feel like. But he goes, I'm like, why do he have slippers on, though? Yeah. I guess, he's just like, he was a little disheveled, actually. I guess it does kind of go in. Like, his hair wasn't quite styled. He didn't have a tie. His top button was undone. But his coat was still buttoned.
Well, I mean,
it is Crowley.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked the just slightly disheveled
He's
look.
not going to give everything up.
Right.
Just totally give up.
It was hot. I liked it. I enjoyed Mark Shepard's look in this episode. I was about to say season. It might be the season, but I guess that remains to be seen. He goes and he sits down, and there are like black marks all over the inside of this trailer. So they're clearly like wording sigils and all that other kind of stuff. But that's not going to stop God, right?
Right.
So Cass just pops in. He's like, hey, Betty, what are you up to?
I like Crowley's face when he's like, hello, Crowley. And Crowley's, you can tell Crowley's face is just like, shit.
Cass was like, you look stressed. They have a little exchange where Crowley's just like, okay, fuck, smite me. Get it over with, whatever. And Castiel tells him, no. I'm not going to smite you. I have plans for you. So Crowley is still in charge of hell. And he still will get souls. But Castiel, as the new god, will decide where the souls go. That's the new deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Crowley's just like, okay, that fucking sucks. And Cass is like, you should be happy with what I'm giving you. Because I was going to get rid of hell completely. But I need something to threaten my enemies with. There needs to be a punishment. So I can't get rid of it completely. And Crowley points out, so obviously you're going to be keeping most of the souls for yourself because as we learned last season, souls equal power. And Castiel is just like, yep. And then he goes, bye. Bye-bye. After Crowley says, sure, because he realizes this ain't no negotiation. We cut back to Bobby's where Sam is reading a book. And I was not prepared for this hallucination.
Oh my gosh, it was aggressive.
It was so cool, though. There's another weird noise. And then this chain comes crashing through the ceiling, wraps around Sam's neck, and pulls him straight up to the ceiling. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Very well done.
It was scary.
It was very... I wonder how much of that was practical, how they did that. There was a lot in this episode that seemed like it was mostly practical to me, and I could not figure out how they did it. This was one of them. It looked cool. I mean, I'm guessing it was just a harness.
Probably.
With the stunt guy, and then whenever they show him actually up against the ceiling with his head up there, that they switched it out for Jared Padalecki, it was real cool. Fortunately, turns out it was all a dream. He like snaps himself awake, but then he's hearing shit again. Not good. Not good. Dean and Bobby are in the garage taking their turn on baby, and Sam goes walking out there. I think he was maybe going to tell them at that point. Just the way his mannerisms and his expressions were whenever he was eavesdropping on them, and versus whenever he first came walking up versus how whenever he actually entered the room, there were just some very subtle changes that were made there. I think Sam was thinking about telling them that he was seeing shit and hearing shit. Wasn't explicitly said, but that was an assumption I made from it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a scary fucking dream.
Yeah.
You know, I would maybe want to go tell you about it right after that too.
Same.
But Sam overhears Bobby and Dean talking about it and saying that, yeah, Sam's fine because he says he's fine. And Bobby's like, you really believe that? And they're like, no. No, because we can't catch a fucking break. What'd he say? We're going to get kicked in the daddy pills again? I was like, what? What is that?
Never heard that one.
Have you taken your daddy pills today, LA?
No, I have not.
I need a couple of doses. I've missed doses. Lots of doses. Right after this, where Dean is declaring, like, no, I actually don't believe him because we can't catch a break. I think that's when Sam changed his mind. And was like, I'm going to keep pretending like everything's fine.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It made me sad.
Yeah.
That he's carrying that, you know, he's dealing with enough and now feels like he can't even talk about it. But he comes in and tells them about a publishing house which had exploded, and that the body count's really getting up there. Things are just now starting to get out of hand, guys. I think we're going to have to come up with a plan other than repairing the car, especially since they're getting ready to paint. Like, what are you going to do now? Pick a different car out of the junkyard and restore that? Like, you're done, essentially. Sam brings up the idea of Balthazar's arsenal of stolen weapons, which I'm like, oh yeah, where's that? I thought Castiel took that back to heaven, though.
Did he?
At the end of French Mistake, remember Cass was like, I have the weapons now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I guess he wouldn't have taken them to heaven,
Was
though,
it-
because
yeah.
Raphael was ruling heaven. So what did he do with them?
I think we just don't know where they are, but he's got them somewhere.
Oh, I think that's not good. Who's watching that?
Mm.
Nobody's watching that after the end of this episode. What's going on? But Dean is still like a negative Nelly, and it's like, no, none of that is going to work. Nothing can defeat God. And then he thought, wait a minute. We don't need a thing. It's not what can we use. It's who can we use. They decide that they are going to bind death, just like Lucifer did in season 5, I think it was. But they need help because they don't know how to do it. So they summon Crowley and catch him in a devil's trap. And of course, Crowley and Bobby are immediately flirting with each other. Bobby's like, we didn't just summon you to stand there and look pretty. And what did Crowley say? Like, oh, do you know how much trouble I'm going to be when he finds out that we're, what's the word? Conspiring.
Oh.
And then he was like, we are here to conspire, right? Like, that's what we're doing. It was very cute. I enjoyed this scene. I thought it was really cute. And they tell Crowley what their plan is. And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're not going to be able to do that. And they're like, a spell is a spell. Okay. If the spell exists and we can get the ingredients, like, why not? Why can't we try? At first, Crowley is like, no, like, I'm not going to help you on your little suicide mission.
I feel like he's always like that with them. It's like, no, I'm not gonna help you. No, but okay, let's get together and do something.
Right. Well, Bobby is the one who kind of was like, do you really want Cass running the universe? And then Crowley was like, oh, honey, no, I guess not.
No, of course not.
Does end up sliding under Bobby's door, slipping a little envelope up in there with the spell, and he gave him a little Post-it note that had like a little love note on it. It's like, I still look at our picture, and that's why I'm giving it to you, giving you this.
You're my special guy.
You're my special little boy. I love you. And Bobby was like, thank God. In the meantime, Castiel has ringworm, and it's getting real bad, guys. Like, it showed his hand, and I was like, uh-oh. And then we see his hand again, and like, uh-oh, there's more. And then he heals a blind man, and the blind man is like, holy fuck, your face. And he's got ringworm all over, all underneath his beautiful eyes. And Castiel's just like, oh my God, rude. Why? And then he goes and looks at himself in the mirror, and then he's hearing those voices again.
It does look terrible.
They're like, you look like shit. Mm-hmm. That ringworm's out of control.
I need to go to the dermatologist.
Yeah. You need a facial stat. Those Cthulhus are all up in his insecurities. And he's like, oh my God, I'm not sexy anymore. What are people going to say about me now? Oh shit. This is also when, after he's like, oh fuck my face. And he's like, well, maybe I still got it down south though. So he undoes his shirt and opens his shirt, and it did that cool stretching through the skin thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool.
Stuff, hands coming out from inside him.
Yes. And that seemed to be a single shot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in editing, so I have no fucking clue. But they started at Misha Collins' face, like a profile, and he's like opening his shirt, holding open the shirt and jacket, and they pan down to his midsection, and then it was stretching through. And I thought that was cool enough. I was like, I wonder how they did that. Then they pan around and show him in the mirror. And that looked practical too. I mean, there had to have been some sort of splicing or something going on there. Had to have been. But that was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I liked it, Phil. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Very cool horror elements here. That was really cool. I liked it. And it was like, let us out. And like stretching. Ooh, crazy. But he's like, no, you're staying in me. All of you staying up in me. Okay, so back to Bobby, Dean, and Sam. They've got their spell from Crowley. So they're Googling the ingredients, trying to figure out how are we going to do this. And they figure out they need an act of God crystallized forever. And Bobby, Mr. Smarty Pants, immediately says, oh, we need a fuggermite. Fuggerlite.
A what?
Fuggermite. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's lightning. Whenever it hits the sand, it crystallizes the sand and essentially like makes a cast of itself.
That's right. Okay.
And they decide that must be it. That was a jump. How much time was he researching? Because they figured that out quickly.
Maybe he knew about that already.
He already knew about the Fulgurite.
Fulgurite. Fulgurite?
Fulgurite. Oh, there it is.
Fulgurite?
Fulgurite.
Fulgurite?
Fulgurite.
Fulgurite? Yeah, I don't know.
They're like, that's going to do the trick. That's the final ingredient we need.
Shit we need.
Which I was like, isn't there that rom-com where that guy literally just goes and throws lightning rods around and makes these things? But they're like, no, we need a really big one. Quit making stupid suggestions, Berly. I was thinking like, oh, those are like, you can get those anywhere, right? And they're like, no, we need a big one. And we looked at the auction house and we know where somebody bought it and they're 9 hours away. So let's go to their house and break in. The security guard comes up and Tina's like, hey, do you have any Grey Poupon?
So stupid.
I was like, what? And then Sam goes, what the fuck? And Dee's like, I don't know. It's just what came to me. I was like, what was the purpose of this scene? That probably could have been cut. But you know what? Maybe they needed it for time.
So maybe they thought it was really funny at the time.
maybe that. Whenever I think of the Grey Poupon commercials being popular, I think like 80s and 90s, not early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
So. No, I think you're right.
I did used to think that Grey Poupon was like significantly better because it was fancy mustard. Didn't you?
I don't think I've ever had it.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
It's not all that fancy.
I like French's mustard. Just my
I think
regular old
it's-
friendship.
If I'm remembering correctly, because I don't think I've had it in a very, very long time. I think it was just like brown mustard.
Right.
I don't think it was the power of marketing, man.
Oh, yeah.
Power of marketing and branding. Because I do remember thinking it was so much better.
Oh, well, the commercials, yeah. With the little man and his, what is it?
Wasn't there
I
like
was going to say
chauffeur?
Rolls Royce, but I think it was a
Yeah.
limo.
I mean, it could have been both.
Yeah.
Well, enough of that.
We could go on more, but
So they break into this house. The owner of the house hears them break in and gets his shotgun and has his wife standing behind him and points it in Dean's face. And Dean is just like, oops, hi.
I mean, good for that guy.
Yeah.
Being prepared.
He's standing his
home
ground.
invasion.
He knew how to hold that gun. He was ready. And he was also kind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he told Dean, I don't want to have to hurt you. So get the fuck out. And Dean just kind of was like, well, I'm a Winchester, bitch. We don't see the fight, but I imagine it wasn't very long.
Yeah, nobody's really ruffled up or hurt. Yeah. Husband and her wife are just tied up together.
Yeah, they tie them up in their living room. And I'm thinking, okay, they're going to take the ingredient and leave. But no.
Well, time saving. It was a 9-hour drive.
Oh, that's right. That's right. But I mean, they couldn't have just gone out to the backyard or something. They're like, no, we need
They're like,
witnesses.
sorry, it's going to be too long of a drive to go back. We're just going to borrow your house really fast.
Y'all just hang out. Just hang out. It's cool.
Hang out tied up together.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
I did think it was adorable that Dean brought the best fried pickle chips in the state with him just for Death.
Oh my God. It was,
I mean, Death did kind of act a little offended by it. Oh, that's going to console me. But then as soon as he was loose, the first thing he did was go get his pickle chips.
Dean knew.
It was really cute.
Dean came prepared for the lesson.
So they do this ritual, which involves, we don't quite see the cut. We just see Dean tying like a flannel shirt around his arm and being like, you're welcome.
It did show it.
Oh, I missed it.
I saw the blood dripping down.
No, they didn't show him actually cut.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they showed the blood dripping down and him tying it off. But what they showed Bobby like pour into the bowl, it looked like it was significant. So those poor people had to sit there and watch them like bleed themselves into a jar and stuff. I was just like, oh my God.
I would be like, we're so fucked. This is
What
a
the fuck
satanic
is
cult.
happening?
They're going to sacrifice us. We're going to die.
If you want for my fulgurite, take it. What? Get out. Why are you here? These poor people. And they're just sitting there. Like, that's the only lines they had in the whole episode was the husband being like, I don't want to hurt you.
And they don't like fight their
No.
restraints, nothing. They're just cool, calm.
I mean, they made some wonderful facial expressions every once in a while.
That's true, yeah.
Particularly whenever people just started suddenly appearing in their
Oh
living
my
room.
God.
Talking about how they were death and hell and God and all of this stuff.
Man.
Like,
Talk about thinking you're nuts.
right?
Afterwards, I'd be like, did this really happen? Did you see what I saw?
Do we need to go talk to our therapist? I
Yeah.
don't understand. What the fuck just happened? Well, anyway, they do the ritual and it works. They actually bind Death. He has like this weird, I guess it was supposed to be kind of an invisible chain, but maybe there was like some reflections. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on there, but there's definitely something like around his wrists, like a chain of some sort. So Death shows up and is just like, fuck you, Dean. Like, do you not remember whenever I told you, whenever Lucifer had me bound, how much I hated that? And now you're going to turn around and do it? And Dean's just like, please help us. And Death is like, I fucking warned you. I told you about the souls. How long ago was that? Because I told you, and you had plenty of time to stop it. But you didn't. So I kind of just like, fuck you. But then Cass shows up.
I like the way and then Cass shows up. Again. Here's Cass.
He is not happy. He's just like, well, I didn't want to kill y'all. But now, I guess I'm going to have to. Like, you're binding Death and shit. This is fucked. But Death is not having it. He is just like, oh my God, you're an arrogant little shit. You're not God. I know God. And it ain't you, buddy. And he really hurt Castiel's feelings. Big time. So Castiel snaps his fingers and releases Death. And then he goes to a campaign to go do some murdering.
I thought Death has like a little speech about the stuff that's in Cass to the boys. Does he have that before?
Did he
Cass
say
shows
that
up?
while Cass was there?
No, I think it was before he showed up. I just remembered.
Oh, well, he was telling him it was about the souls and everything. Okay, so this is kind of important, but It's your lore, so I'm not going to spend too much time on
okay.
it. But he does tell them that it's not just souls that are all up inside Cass. It's also Leviathans.
The beasts.
The beasts.
From long before.
Not Cthulhu's. Or maybe Cthulhu is a Leviathan. But yeah, God made them first, but then they just were like way too rowdy. God was like, oh my God, y'all are way too much. I do not want to deal with this. And so he created purgatory in order to have somewhere to stick these first beasts that he made. And then therefore all the other beasts go there whenever they die. And so he was like, so it wasn't just like vampire souls and skinwalker souls. And no, he sucked up all these Leviathans too. And he's going to explode and they're going to destroy the fucking planet. So you guys really fucked up. Oh, I did forget. The reason Cass snapped to unbind Death is because Dean commanded Death to kill Cass. And he was literally about to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why Cass snapped his fingers to take away the binding, because then Death didn't have to do Dean's bidding. But still, Death really did hurt Cass's feelings. I thought that was fun. He goes to the campaign and he's just like, I'm a good god. I'm a god. And I'm good at my job. Like, I'm punishing bad people. Like, I'm fixing stuff. I'm being good.
I don't think so.
That creepy smile he did to the camera.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Anyway, while Death is eating his pickle chips, Sam yet again is just like, I think we just need to talk to Cass. I think we can still talk some sense into him. He obviously can get his feelings hurt whenever he's told he's not a very good god. Maybe we can use that to our advantage. Come on, Dean. But Dean is just like, no. But then I love how Death was like, shut up, Dean. Or something. And he tells him, you do need to go talk to Cass. You need to convince him to put those Leviathans back where they belong. I will create an eclipse for you so that you can do this. So I'm going to help you, but clean up your own fucking mess. I'm tired of your shit. And don't you ever bind me again. And then he thanks them for the pickle chips and leaves. And that couple is still just sitting there being like, what the fuck is happening? So while Castiel is killing everybody at the senator's campaign office, Dean and Sam are back at Bobby's. And Dean has like given up. He's saying the world's going to explode. So I'm just going to sit here and get drunk and watch porn. And like, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do with my final days on Earth. But Sam, he's not having it. He decides he's going to stop asking permission and ask forgiveness instead. He walks out to the yard. He calls out to Castiel and he tells him, like, hey, dude, like, we know you're hurting. We know you need help. Please let us help you. We've got a plan. We've got time to make this right. Like, we can do this as long as we get it done before dawn. Please, bro. And so Cass wakes up in the campaign office. Like, I guess he blacked out or something. And he sees the carnage that he has inflicted on all of these people, not just the individual that he went there to punish. Like, he went there to punish a corrupt politician, and he ended up killing everybody in the place. And so I guess that the monsters that we find out get control of him at the end, that they were already starting to kind of get control of him. And that's when Cass is like, oh, fuck. Shit.
This isn't good.
This isn't good. I'm going to take Sam up on that offer. And so he goes to Bobby's and he tells them, like, yeah, like, I do need help. Bobby, Sam, and Dean all get Cass back to the lab where we started the episode. All the ingredients are there. Death told them everything you need to reopen the door is there. I'll give you the eclipse. Just be punctual. Do it on time. So they are working under a clock. One of the ingredients they need is the jar of the purgatory monster blood. Oh, Dr. Visiak. No. Anyway, Bobby obviously wasn't going to be able to go get the blood because that would have hurt his heart.
Yeah.
Because of whose it was. So they're like, Sam, you go. We know you're hallucinating now because Castiel told us, because he's a little shit. I forgot that part. That was important. That the jig was up. They know that Sam's hallucinating now and that he's been lying about it. So they know this. And then they go, okay, you go by yourself down the hall to go get the blood. And Sam's like, on it. He was not on it. This is where I got confused, though. So Sam goes to get the blood. And then Mark Pellegrino's Lucifer appears and is trying to convince Sam that he never actually got out of the cage. Mm-hmm. That this has all been a hallucination and he's actually still in the cage. And he's saying, you know, Sam was saying, the meat hooks, the sounds, all of that, it's just memories from the cage, is what he said. And that's whenever I looked at you and I was like, why would he remember Mark Pellegrino's Lucifer from the cage? Mark Pellegrino, the vessel, did not go into the cage. It was Sam and Adam. So why is he seeing Pellegrino's Lucifer? I'm confused.
Maybe he went and hung out down there for a while. I mean, it is Lucifer.
Like, is Pellegrino's vessel even alive? Because remember Raphael's vessel? Whenever Raphael left him, he was like the catatonic guy in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
So what even happened to the Pellegrino vessel? What was his name? Nick?
Well, I mean, it's a hallucination, so.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's who they saw Lucifer being. So if you were to visualize it, it would be him. Because it wouldn't just be like the ball of light or whatever they actually are. I don't know. That confused me during the episode. Anyway, this is all too much for Sam. So he just politely sets the blood down halfway down the hallway and pieces out. He's gone. Dean comes to get the blood, realizes Sam isn't there anymore and that this probably isn't a good thing. But he doesn't have time to worry about that. He gets the blood and he goes back to the lab, draws the symbols on the door. Cass is struggling, y'all. He can't even stand. He's having a real hard time. But Dean just like lifts him up and like does his hands like this. Like, oh, you're okay. And walks away. And then Cass blows his load all over. Well, it wasn't all over the wall because the wall opened up into a black hole. But then Cass blows his load into the hole. It was a lot, guys. He was really backed up. And I loved that during this whole scene, Cass is just like, y'all, I really got out of hand there. I'm so sorry. Like, can we make amends? Because I think I'm about to die. And Dean's just like, is that going to make you feel better? Cass is like, no. Is it making you feel better? And Dean's like, no. It's not like he lost his temper and yelled at them, you know? Like, he went on a murder rampage, bro. And he's just like, I'm just a little baby. I'm just a little angel baby. So after Cass blows his load and falls to the ground, I thought he was dead. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I totally thought Castiel was going to be the villain for this season.
Well, they did. Didn't Bobby say he's dead?
Yeah. They said he was dead. Bobby was like, he's cold. Like, he's out. But then all of his injuries just vanished and he opened his eyes. And I was like, thank God. Because I literally looked at LA and I was like, oh my God, like literally all my boyfriends are dead. I have no boyfriends left if Castiel dies. They took Gabriel. They took Balthazar. I thought they took Castiel, Zachariah, Uriel, but I still got one boyfriend left. He cray. But at least he survived. So yeah, he wakes up and he stands up and he's just like, oh my God, okay. Like I survived. That's awesome. I really want to make things up to you guys. And they're trying to like kind of walk him out. And then he finally shoves them and is like, I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to make it up to you right now. Run, get the fuck out of here. I can't hold them back anymore. I can't hold them in. I can't control them. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he said, the Leviathans, they held on. They didn't, when I blew my load, they didn't go. They're still up in me. And then he switches and gets all like devious with that crazy smile that he had in the video footage from the campaign place. And we see the Croatan black lines come up his neck. And he's just like, it's me. I'm going to fuck shit up. This episode was written by Sarah Gamble, and it was directed by Phil Segresha. Gore. Like I said, there wasn't too much gore, but a lot of horror visuals. Like a lot of things that seemed inspired straight from horror movies. I loved it. I loved the off-kilter camera angles, the rotating of the camera at the beginning. Like I said, that brought to mind Evil Dead for me. The hallucinations with Sam with the chain, and then Castiel with the hands and the head getting pushed through his stomach. Very cool horror visuals in this. What do you think of gore-wise or horror-wise?
No, I loved it all too. I mean, we talked about it throughout the whole thing. Yeah,
we were talking about that a lot. Good work, Phil. Yes. I loved it. And special effects team.
For sure.
Like, quite literally, so many things looked like they were done practically, but they were so fucking cool. I don't know how they did them practically. Like, just amazing. Really good work with the horror and the gore that was in this episode. It was a lot of fun. Did you adore anything else about this episode?
I was glad to see Crowley.
Yes. The disheveled.
Yes.
Only slightly.
Right.
Right?
And I thought Misha did a really good job.
He did. He played like almost 3 different characters in this one episode.
Right.
Like the corrupt, I'm God and I'm going to fix everything crazy guy. And then we got a little bit of classic Castiel. And then whatever this is at the end, whatever we're going to call that.
Yeah.
He did really good. It was also fun to see death. Julian Richings killing it as always. Like I said, that scene was weird because of the couple that's just like there in the background. But he's just so fabulous every time he's on screen.
Oh, yeah.
I loved his delivery of everything. Julian Richings, he killed it.
Yeah.
There was a lot that happened in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I sincerely, it seemed like it was so long. I felt like, I was like, is this a movie? What's happening? And then whenever I thought Castiel was dead, I was like, what's going to be the rest of the season? But now we know it's like the Leviathan cast is going to be the bad guy for the season.
Which should be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good premiere.
Yeah.
It was a good premiere. It was a lot squeezed into one episode, but still good.
Right.
All right, LA, take us into the lore.
Okay, well, as you mentioned, it's over the Leviathan. And the Leviathan is a sea serpent noted in theology and mythology. It is referenced in several books of the Hebrew Bible, including Psalms, the Book of Job, the Book of Isaiah, and the... Whoa.
You got it.
Pseudopigraphical? Pseudopigraphical.
Pseudopigraphical. There is no O.
Pseudopigraphical. Thank you.
We are doing
I'm
so
learning
good.
to read.
Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
You didn't need the adjective. You could have just said Book of Enoch.
Well, I'm trying to get it right. The Leviathan is often an embodiment of chaos, threatening to eat the damned when their lives are over. Ooh.
In the good way?
Probably not.
Oh, no.
In the end, it is annihilated.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, he annihilated this pussy. Like, no. Just like your life and your soul and all. Okay.
Yeah, you're done.
We don't want that.
According to the diagrams, the Leviathan encapsulates the space of the material world.
This is making me wonder if Leviathan and Cthulhu are like related.
I know,
like
you keep
mythology
saying
wise.
that.
Well, they were calling it the old ones, and we know that season 6 they were originally going to go more the Cthulhu route.
Yeah.
And then they changed it at the end to be this Leviathan thing. But like a lot of it seems to be fairly similar.
We'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
The Leviathan of the Book of Job is a reflection of the older Canaanite Lotan, a primeval monster defeated by the god Baal Hadad. Man, I'm probably butchering all of this. Parallels to the role of Mesopotamia Tiamat, defeated by Marduk.
Didn't we research Tiamat for Tipsy Exchange episode on...
It sounds familiar.
I think we researched that for our episode on the Black Panther 2 villain comic book character.
Okay.
I'm blanking on his name.
Okay.
But yeah, that was like a dragon, right? Wasn't it like a
I
dragon?
don't remember. The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, dragon.
Oh, okay. Tiamat, defeated by Marduk, have long been drawn in comparative mythology, as have been wider...
You're really struggling today, girl.
I said...
Yeah, you did.
have been wider comparisons to dragon and world serpent narratives such as Indra slaying Vritra or Thor slaying...
You've told me how to say this.
I know.
Jorgamund, right?
Sure, yeah.
Jorgamund.
That thing, yeah. Leviathan also figures in the Hebrew Bible as a metaphor for a powerful enemy, notably Babylon, Isaiah 27:1. Some 19th century scholars pragmatically interpreted it as referring to large aquatic creatures such as the crocodile.
Huh.
The word later came to be used as a term for great whale or for sea monsters in general. Like Nessie.
Isn't Nessie? Is that a Leviathan?
So Leviathan can also be used as an image of the devil, endangering both God's creatures by attempting to eat them, of course, and
not the good kind again.
Right.
We want to emphasize that.
And God's creation by threatening it with upheaval in the waters of chaos. A dragon, Drakon,
Shukakon.
being
Shukakon. Drogon.
Wasn't that one of the
Drogon.
dragons' names in Game of Thrones?
Drogon.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Close.
Thank you. Okay. Drakon being the usual translation for the Leviathan in Book of Revelation. Although the Old Testament nowhere identifies the Leviathan with the devil, the seven-headed dragon in the Book of Revelation is. By this, the battle between God and the primordial chaos monsters shifts to a battle between God and the devil. Only once in the Book of Job, the Leviathan is translated as sea monster.
So are they going to have to break Lucifer out of the cage in order to defeat the Leviathans?
I was already kind of thinking that.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And they already have Pellegrino on the docket for guest star this season.
Right.
So are they going to go find where catatonic Nick is and just
I guess. We'll see.
they're going to work with Lucifer after he just tortured Sam? Because he was talking about torturing him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't know. We're going to
Okay.
see. We'll see. Now, a seven-headed beast described with the same features as the dragon before rises from the waters, endowing a beast of the earth with power.
Oh.
This is in the following chapter. I forgot that part. Dividing the beasts into monster of water and one of dry earth is probably a recalling of the monstrous pair Leviathan and Behemoth.
Oh.
In accordance with Isaiah 27:1, the dragon will be slain by God on the last day and cast into the abyss. The annihilation of the chaos monster results in a new world of peace without any trace of evil.
Okay, so I know that Chuck doesn't come and help them. Because I listen to Supernatural then and now, and Rob Benedict has said he has no fucking clue what happens in seasons 6, 7, and 8.
Okay.
So
we do not see him.
so we will not see Chuck.
Okay, good to know.
So it's not God who comes and slays the dragon. So I think Lucifer, I think that's where we're heading.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Jerome? Who's Jerome?
I think you better call Jerome. Call him. Tell him I said come home. Get these fucking Leviathans out of my angel.
Okay, comments on Psalm 104:26 that this is the dragon that was cast out of paradise that beguiled Eve and is permitted in this world to make sport of us. How many monks and clerics has it dashed headlong? They all look to you to give them food in due time, for all the creatures of God live at his bidding. Thomas Aquinas described Leviathan as the demon of envy, first in punishing the corresponding sinners. Peter Bensfield likewise classified Leviathan as the demon of envy as one of the 7 princes of hell corresponding to the 7 deadly sins.
Oh, that's right. We did research Leviathan back when we did 7 Deadly Sins.
Leviathan became associated with and may originally have been referred to by the visual motif of the hellmouth, a monstrous animal into whose mouth the damned disappear at the Last Judgment, found in Anglo-Saxon art from about 800 and later all over Europe.
I know we've already clarified, but I'm just saying there's an awful lot of eating and in my mouth and inside me and all that kind of talk with all of
There
this.
is. Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
So yeah, there's your Leviathan.
Not my Leviathan.
He's all yours. It's all yours. Not. I guess he wouldn't be he. They are all yours.
They are all inside me.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, quote to close it out. Woo! I'm sorry, guys. That was a rough episode.
All right, mostly probably on me.
No! It was just a lot. It was just a lot of an episode and some very rough lore. So, stick with us. I can't make any promises, but episode 2's got to be better than that, right? All right. Quote to close it out. It's from Dean. He said, I'm going to stuff my pie hole. I'm going to drink, and I'm going to watch some Asian cartoon porn and act like the world is going to explode. Because it is. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to Denim-wrapped Nightmares.
Follow us on Twitter or Instagram, leave a review, and let us know how we can get involved in the fandom.
This was fun. Jerk.
It always is, bitch.